craziest thing you've ever seen with your own eyes happen in church?
Hey y'all, so I thought this would be super funny for today because I was on live and y'all almost made me cry a couple of times, but I need to lighten the mood and show y'all some videos. I also want y'all to put in the comment section, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen in church? Now, this is an old one that Kevin on Stage put up, I think on TikTok maybe back in 2022, but it's new to me because I've never seen it and I don't think I was really using TikTok like that back then. So let's get into some videos, but before we do, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so that you know when I'm coming on here. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
I'll go first. One of my friends and her high school sweetheart dated for a little bit, and then they had a baby together. After they graduated high school and a little bit more time had passed, they decided to get married. This is one of the first weddings that I remember going to with someone that I had grown up with, so it hit a little bit differently in our friend group. The bride was pregnant at the time, but she wasn't showing and nobody knew except the family. On what is supposed to be one of the happiest days of a bride and groom's life, the pastor decides to tell the congregation that the young lady is pregnant and the only reason that they're getting married is because she's having a child. She also tells her that she shouldn't be wearing a white wedding dress because both of her children were conceived out of wedlock, and then she makes the bride and groom apologize to their families in front of everyone for disgracing God.
So you trying to start something with this one because I can go all day. So I grew up in church, and to this day, one of the craziest things that I've seen happen during tithe and offering. So we were on like the last collection of the day, and the ushers took all the collection plates to the back like they normally do, and the pastor's still talking. So within like 15, 20 minutes or so, they come back out and they're still holding the collection plates, and they dump all the money like into one big bowl. So one of the ushers goes over to the pastor and he whispers something in his ear, and y'all, the pastor's response was visceral. Like his whole demeanor abruptly changed. Like you can see it. So he steps out from behind the podium. He's still holding the microphone, and he looks out at the congregation, and then he says, "Is this all you have to give to God?" Like he screams it, and everybody's like, "What?" It came out of nowhere. So he takes the bowl, dumps the money out, then throws the bowl on the floor and says, "Nobody's leaving until I get some more money," and then sends the ushers to barricade the doors to lock us in.
It was time to collect the offering in the church. Normal service, everybody grabbed their money, went to the front, dropped it, and went back to their seats. But instead of the worship continuing, the pastor stands up and goes to the altar. He grabs a mic and he says, "Who here needs to pay rent?" A man raised his hand and he went to the front. And then the pastor proceeds to give him all the money in the basket. It didn't stop there though. He said, "If it's more than what you need, go ahead and get yourself some groceries. But if it's not enough, come see me afterwards." That was one of the biggest Jesus moments I've ever seen.
Well, the craziest thing I've ever seen in church. So I just get saved. I'm a new believer, and I'm visiting a deliverance church. And actually, that's the church I got saved in. And during worship service, I heard a scream to my left. Ah! And this guy runs down the aisle against the wall, full speed ahead, boom, hits the stage. And I was like, what in the world? It was a little crazy. Like, before your hands are up and your both eyes are closed. And it's like, after that, it's like one eye's open, one eye's closed. They picked the dude up and moved on with service. Like, it was like nothing happened. Like, the choir never stopped singing or anything. So I asked my aunt, I said, what is going on with the guy who screams and runs down the aisle and hits the stage? And she was like, they don't really know. They said they think, he gets this, spirit in him, something in him gets riled up during praise and worship service. And he runs down there and hits the stage. They pick him up. He walks back to his seat like nothing's going on. And that was just a crazy thing for a new believer. That was pretty deep.
The craziest thing that I ever saw was I saw a little boy who was about 7 or 8 years old. He was in a wheelchair, and he had never, ever walked. The doctor said that he would never walk. He had been to therapy, and nothing had ever helped him. So his mom had him in a wheelchair, and she brought him in for us to pray over him. So we prayed over him, and God healed him. And he was able to get up out of the wheelchair and walk. And he actually got to walk down the aisle at the church. And it was amazing. But the craziest thing was not that part. The craziest thing was what happened after. His mom literally picked him up, put him back in the wheelchair, and strapped him in. and they left with that boy back in a wheelchair.
So one Sunday, in the middle of the sermon, our pastor stopped the church and said, "I have been living a lie." This man says, "Me and my wife have not been sleeping in the same bed, and I am getting a divorce." Do you know she sat there in disbelief because she didn't know that he was going to do that? I mean, he sat up there and said, "I am living a lie. Me and my wife don't love each other no more. We're getting a divorce. I can't be your pastor because I'm sinning." Who knew the sin he was talking about was adultery because he got married a month later to a white woman?
I can't think of one thing that has happened in church that was crazy out of all my years of being in church. But I see a lot of stuff on the internet. So I tell y'all what I'm going to do. I'm going to share this clip that I found that I thought was quite crazy. And it also made me understand why pastors need security. So let's take a look.
You don't understand. You don't understand. It's okay. It's okay. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. He's okay. He's okay. I'm going to teach you something real quick now. Listen, I'm going to teach you something real quick. I'm going to teach you something real quick. Now, you don't let nobody get that far up here before you react. Now, after he start going out, you should have just sat down. Don't let him get this close before you respond to anybody that busts through the doors, okay? Stop them at the door, all right? Okay, for future reference.
I have a feeling either this pastor is braver than my daddy, and my daddy is brave, or he knew that man, because he did not flinch when that man walked up to that pulpit. And he's right. Like, why were they so slow? Y'all let that man walk all the way up there. It wasn't offering time. Nobody called him to the altar, and he got that close to the pastor. Yeah, that's crazy. So that was probably the craziest thing that I've seen this week. There have truly been some crazy moments, and I want y'all to share y'all's in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the videos below, because that's what I'm here for.